Sketch off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a video on the booktubers that I've been enjoying over this past year. I did that last year, when I first started my channel, although I think I called it my favorite booktubers. I'm not sure, like the ones that I watch the most. And don't get me wrong, I still watch those the most. I'm going to highlight a few of those anyway, just because they're like my regulars. But, I have gotten to know a lot more this past year. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about them as well. So yeah. I also kind of just went on a subscriber spree. Storm from Storm Reads, posted a video, with like small booktubers to highlight, and then I went to Katie's channel and watched like the recommendations from her booktube recommendation playlist. So I kind of just subscribed to everybody. I sort of learned over this past year that you don't really subscribe to people just because you have bookish overlap. I'm starting to enjoy just watching people talk about books, even if they're not exactly what I'm into. So now a lot of my the people that I subscribe to, I don't read anything they read. And it's fine. And sometimes we will have some overlap, which is also fun. So that's actually going to be, as I was looking through my list, I'm realizing that's kind of the majority of these channels, where we don't have a ton of overlap, but it's still, I still like watching them. And also, I don't know, like that's what I used to do before. I would just subscribe to people that I overlapped with. I didn't like, if I didn't overlap with anyone, with the person, I wouldn't subscribe, just because I didn't think it'd be fun to watch. But it really is. And also, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't give, people subscribers, they don't subscribe to you either. And that kind of sucks. So yeah, like, I don't know. I've just sort of been enjoying watching just random people's channels, and yeah, anyway. So I'm just gonna start with like my three like regulars that I tend to overlap with. I talked about them last year, but first one is Amanda from Book Lover Amanda. I found her through, pretty sure it was Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails. Yeah, it was one of her videos. Like Christian booktubers and stuff. She's very bubbly, upbeat. I love her accent. And we have some bookish overlap. We do some historical fiction. She's actually gotten me to read some Christian romances that I've never picked up otherwise. So yeah. She's one whose videos, like, if she's doing like book recommendations or book hauls or wrap-ups or TBRs, I'm there. Like, they're instant watches. Next one is Krista from Books and Jams. She is probably the one who I overlap with the most from these three like regulars. Krista, like, I'm always gonna find something. So like historical fiction or contemporaries are pretty similar. And we're weirdly obsessed with orphans. Orphan, I think she said before, is like one of her buzzwords, and that's always been like one of mine. I love a good adoption story, or just like, I don't know, like the sappiness of kids finding family. So we overlap in that way. I don't know. So yeah, I've been following her for like years and years. We're talking pre-COVID. So yeah. And last but not least is, well, from this like little regulars list, is Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails. I'm pretty sure I found her through Amanda from On the Middle Shelf. She did a YouTuber recommendation list like years ago, and I found Katie through there. And I think Katie was actually my gateway into, like my big gateway into the Christian fiction booktube community, just because Krista does read some, but I think she reads more secular than she does Christian fiction. She's not, I know she is a Christian, but like she's not like hardcore Christian fiction. So yeah. I would consider Katie my gateway. And then Amanda from Book Lover Amanda. So, yeah. Now I'm going to go to some new ones. Well, not that new. I've been watching them for a while. But, yeah. Just kind of been more into them lately. So the first one is Keisha from A Book Like You. We don't have a ton of bookish overlap. She likes fantasy. She does middle grade, so I do like a lot of her middle grades. She likes scary books, which I'm not really into. She likes mysteries too, I think. Where we bonded is Sally Hepworth. She had started reading her backlist and she actually got to meet her. I was going to meet her this past year. She was doing a book event for the Soulmate in Santa Monica. I live in Los Angeles, so I could have gone, but my mom had to go to the ER, so that was out. I was very upset. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of where we sort of, I guess, overlapped. I do want to read the series that she talked about a long time ago. I think it's called The Wayward Children or something. So, yeah, anyway, that's Keisha from A Book Like You. Oh, yeah, and she also has a cool accent. Next is Chloe from Always Booked. I cannot remember where I heard about her, but I subscribed to her, and I remember, well, she was one of those channels that I binged. I have a thing where I subscribe to people and I have to watch every single thing they've ever posted if I'm like really into it, because otherwise I feel like I missed something. Like, what if I missed some really good book that she posted about 5 years ago? So I legit binged her entire channel all the way to the beginning. I mean, minus like the vlogs and stuff, just because, you know, you gotta cut it off somewhere, right? So I did like the book hauls and the wrap-ups mostly. Now when I binge channels, I limit it to the wrap-ups. Because like I said, you gotta cut it off somewhere. Like, otherwise you never leave the couch while you're watching. But yeah, we do have a lot of bookish overlap in, like domestic suspense or just like women's fiction, I guess you'd call it that. She reads more romance than I do. I'm not really that into it, but, we definitely overlap in the women's fiction / like domestic suspense. And she does read some historical fiction. I'm always going to find something that I like in every video I watch of hers, mostly. So yeah, she's becoming she's probably already a regular for me. She's up there with Krista and Katie and Amanda in where I'm going to watch her video as soon as I see it pop up. So, yeah. I'm also kind of into like the books that she reads with her kids. Like she started reading the Boxcar Children with them, like the series, and she's actually the one who told me that they're all available on audio. So I used to love those, but a lot of the books were not available on audio or in Braille, and now they're all available on audio and I can get them for free. So they will be mine, and I will read every single one of them and fulfill my childhood dreams. So thank you, Chloe. Next channel is Ashley from the Bookish Realm. I actually don't have much overlap with her, but she's a librarian, and I like reading about like her reactions to certain book lists and like what books made certain awards, or she's very passionate about not banning books, which I appreciate. I love seeing her kind of reactions to that. And she also does like these huge videos where she tells you all the things that are coming out each month that she's interested in or that she's heard of. And they're usually huge lists. So I'm going to find something I like from her, even though it's not something she would necessarily read. So yeah, I really enjoy her channel. And I also kind of appreciate that she now has a graphic novel / or comic channel that's separate from her book channel, just because as a blind person, I can't really read those. And I was kind of getting sort of jealous at the people who could read those. And it was making me crazy to hear about these things that I will never get to read as a blind person. So it's nice that she now separates the two things, so I don't have to hear about it anymore. So thank you. That sounds so bad. But, for those of you who can see the stuff, go follow her on both channels. I just can't appreciate, consume that kind of medium, so I don't want to know about it because I'll be sad. So she did me a favor. Anyway, next is Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day. This one I'm sure I got from Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails channel. But I'd heard about her before. I just never really subscribed. And she's another one I binged from the beginning. We overlap a little bit. Some historical fiction. She does read some middle grade too. She reads a lot of classics, which it depends on the classic for me. I like classics okay. But, it depends. She's more into like, what's her name? Agatha Christie and that kind, like all those different like mysteries that I'm not really into. Really, my only two mystery series are Louise Penny's Armand Gamache and The Boxcar Children. I never was into like Nancy Drew or any of that stuff. I just didn't care about it. Anyway, so yeah, she's one that I enjoy watching, and I'll eventually find some gem that I hadn't heard about since I was like a little kid that you'll dig up. Her and Beautiful Minutia are kind of similar in that way. So yeah. And so yeah, that's Chantel. Next we have Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. I'm not sure if we have like tons of overlap, but I enjoy watching her like new release videos. She talks about all the Christian fiction that comes out each month. So I hear about books I've never heard of from her. I also just love her accent. But yeah, we do have some overlap in some historical fiction. So there's that. But my favorites of hers are her new release videos, just because she'll find stuff I would have never found. And she reads the descriptions, and she never forgets to read a book title, which some people do, and it drives me bonkers because I don't know what book you're talking about. So, yeah. So thank you, Lou. Then we have Kelly from Kelly Reads a Lot. She is another Christian booktuber. I'm pretty sure I also got through Paperbacks and Ponytails. She reads classics. She reads a lot of middle grade. Christian fiction, some romance, but my favorites of hers are her booktubers to watch Wednesday videos, where she highlights a booktuber or two every week. Well, she doesn't do it every week so much anymore, but those are still like some of my favorite videos. So when one pops up, I get really excited. And you find a lot of good channels that way. And from now on, I'm just going to subscribe to every single one of them instead of like kind of nitpicking as to whether I'll like overlap with them. I don't know. I'm kind of just learning that serves me way more. So yeah. Then I read. I'm not doing a wrap up. Sorry. Then the next one we have is Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I mainly subscribe to her because she likes Amish books, and I never heard of anyone else who liked Amish books. Her and Sarah from the Book Schnitter do Amish in April, I think it is. And I think there's another month where they do it. But, so yeah, I subscribe to Lizzie Faye and Sarah from the Book Schnitter for the same reasons. The Amish stuff. I never heard about anyone who liked that but me. I don't know. The romances are so much more like wholesome and just, you don't get the usual like tropes like fake dating and the stuff that I can't stand in a romance. And the guys are usually not jerks. Like it's generally not enemies to lovers, which is another thing I'm not a fan of in romance. So yeah, I like the books. And Lizzie Faye also reads some historical fiction too. I think we overlapped on Kristen Harmel. So, yeah. And, well, she likes the Little House books. So that's always a plus. Next we have Storm Reads. Honestly, I mainly subscribed to her because she subscribed to me. Reading Through Life. She tagged me in like one of her videos where she highlights small booktubers, and I got a few subscribers through that. So I was like super excited, but Storm Reads is one of them. We don't have like tons of bookish overlap either, but she does occasionally bring up like the occasional middle grade gem. Like she brought up the Dollhouse Murderers, which I was obsessed with as a kid. She read it, I think, around Halloween. Like I read that over and over and over to scare myself as a kid. It was one of my favorites. And she also did like a read along of the Virgin River series. And so I started kind of reading that too. I had always wanted to finish them. And when she started talking about them, it made me want to read them or listen to them. So yeah, that's kind of the very little overlap we have. But we now joke, or she kind of laughs at my rant when it comes to certain romance tropes that I'm not a fan of. So yeah, there's that. And then we have, I already mentioned her kind of, but Sarah from the Bookish Knitter. Again, she's one I subscribe to just for like the Amish readathons. But she also started kind of this read along of the Babysitters Club series. And I think she was doing like 4 books a month, but I kind of went insane and did like all of them that I wanted to read a month. I'm still barely on book 28, I think. I took a couple of months off, but yeah. Her talking about the Babysitters Club books got me to really want to read them, so yeah. That's Sarah from the Bookish Knitter. And then, okay, I talked about these ones. There's 2 new booktubers, or at least new to me. And I kind of wanted to bring them up, even though I literally just subscribed yesterday. Becca Books and Bujo is one of them. I think we have a lot of overlap, especially when it comes to Kristen Hanna. Finally, somebody agrees with me that Winter Garden is better than The Nightingale. But yeah, I heard about her through Lindsay's Little Library, one of her Booklist Thursday videos. So yeah. Sorry, I'm like writing down channels as I mention them because I like to tag everybody I mention in my videos, and I just mentioned 2 that weren't on my list casually. Okay, I'm done. But yeah. Okay, 3. I have a problem. Sorry. But yeah, I think that me and Becca are going to have a lot in common, and I'm looking forward to exploring her channel more. But she's one I noticed right away in my subscriber spree. Subscriber shopping spree. And the last one is, I think her name is Ravenclaw Reads. Like I said, I subscribed yesterday. So I honestly can't remember her name, and I can't look it up anymore because I'm using my phone to record. But yeah, I found out she is also reading all the Babysitters Club books. So finally, there will be someone to talk to. So I'm not talking to the abyss when I talk about Babysitters Club books. So yeah. Anyway, those are all the channels that I plan to highlight today. Like I said, I subscribed to a bunch over the past couple of days. So maybe in 6 months or something, kind of when I get a feel for them, and if I subscribe to more, I'll do another kind of updated list, or maybe add new ones that I recommend. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm going to do a couple of book reviews soon. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!
Speech on. Stop recording.